All right, today we are jumping headfirst into the Netflix thriller Hit and Run. And let me tell you, this thing is a maze. It starts out as this really sad, simple tragedy, but before you know it, it's a full-blown global conspiracy. We're talking spies, we're talking lies. It's so twisted, you're gonna need a map. So, let's break it all down.
So the whole story kicks off with this guy, Segev Azulai. On the surface, he's just a normal tour guide in Israel, you know? But he's got this violent past he's really trying to forget. His whole world just gets shattered when his wife, Danielle, she's an American dancer, is killed in this horrific hit and run. But here's the thing. What looks like a terrible, random accident, yeah, it's not. It's actually the very first move in a crazy, deadly international game.
Okay, let's start at the very beginning. We're talking about the one single event that just completely destroys Segev's world and sends him down a rabbit hole he can never climb out of.
So what looks like a tragic accident, well, that falls apart really fast. We're talking just 72 hours here. In that time, Segev goes from grieving husband to deeply suspicious. The police, they hit a brick wall almost instantly. And then, and this is the kicker, a masked assassin breaks into his house. At that point, there's absolutely no doubt in his mind. His wife was murdered. This was a professional hit.
And then he finds it, the first big clue. While he's just trying to deal with everything, Segev finds a secret phone, his wife's secret phone. He calls the last number dialed, and a man answers, and what does he say? "Is everything okay, my love?" Can you imagine? In that single moment, Segev's whole world just collapses. He realizes his marriage, the life they built together, it was all a lie.
Okay, so this is the real turning point. This is where a personal tragedy just blows up into a full-on international manhunt. And Segev, who used to be a mercenary, gets dragged right back into the life he fought so hard to leave behind.
And the clues just start piling up, and honestly, each one is worse than the last. That guy on the phone, turns out his name is Asaf Talmor. The drivers of the car, they weren't locals. They were American mercenaries who are already long gone. And get this is just chilling. Segev realizes the assassin who broke into his house was a guest at his own wedding. So when a bomb gets planted in his home, that's it. Segev knows he has to follow this thing to the end, and the trail leads straight to New York City.
So Segev flies to New York for what he thinks is his wife's memorial. And the lies just get deeper. You know those grieving parents he meets? Total fakes, hired actors. The family home he goes to? Just a short-term rental. It turns out Daniel's entire life in America was a complete, carefully built fabrication.
And this is where Segev has to face a pretty devastating truth. The woman he was in love with, the woman who helped raise his daughter, she wasn't real. She never actually existed. He was married to a ghost.
See, the woman Segev knew was Danielle Wexler, right? This free-spirited dancer who lived with him in Tel Aviv. But that was all a cover. Her real name was Sophie Dreyer. And Sophie Dreyer had a totally different life, a secret one, a hidden past, even a secret apartment right there in New York City.
And here it is, the absolute truth at the center of this whole mess. Sophie Dreyer wasn't a dancer at all. She was a covert agent for the CIA. Her trip to Tel Aviv, her marriage to Segev, none of it was a love story. It was a mission.
So now, what started as Segev's personal nightmare is about to trigger a shadow war. We're talking between two of the most powerful intelligence agencies on the planet. And guess who's stuck right in the middle of it all? Yep, Segev.
Okay, the plot is about to get way thicker because all the major players are finally stepping out of the shadows. On the CIA's side, you've got Reese Wakefield. He's not just Sophie's handler. In a crazy twist, he's also her father. Then from Mossad, there's this intimidating agent, Tamir Edrei, and he is dead set on getting back whatever Sophie took. And remember Asaf, her lover? Turns out he was her target all along. She was using him to get state secrets.
Now, it seems Sophie knew she was in danger. Before she died, she left Segev one last, very cryptic clue. And it was hidden in plain sight, a notebook. To anyone else, it just looks like it's full of dance notes, choreography. But Segev, he has a hunch. He thinks these aren't just dance steps. It's some kind of code.
So, with some help from a dance expert and a journalist friend, Segev starts trying to crack this thing. These weird, sideways symbols in the notebook, they start to form words. 4 of them to be exact. And these aren't just any random words, oh no.
They're Secret Service code names for the President of the United States and his family. That final code word, RAT, is the key that unlocks the whole conspiracy. See, RAT is an acronym. It stands for Remote Access Trojan, and this is the earth-shattering secret Sophie found. Mossad, Israel's own intelligence agency, was using a virus to spy on the American president. And finding that out, well, that's where it got her killed.
With a secret this big, you just know it's all heading towards a massive, deadly showdown. All of our players are on a collision course, and it's going to be explosive.
So, to get Segev to play ball, Mossad kidnaps his friend, Naomi. The deal is simple. He gives them the notebook, and she gets to live. Segev agrees, but he knows. He knows he's walking straight into an ambush.
But right when the exchange is about to go down, a third player shows up. It's Reese, Sophie's dad, the CIA guy. And here comes the double cross. He reveals he was working with Mossad the whole time. His only goal? Get that notebook back and bury the whole thing to protect the CIA.
But the betrayals just keep coming. In a totally cold-blooded move, Reese shoots and kills Tamir, his Mossad partner. Everything just erupts into chaos, and this is the one chance Segev and Naomi have. They fight their way out, they take out Reese, and they escape with the notebook. The one piece of evidence that could bring down governments.
So for just a second, a tiny moment, Segev thinks he's won. He thinks it's over. But then he gets a call from his cousin back in Israel, and it just shatters everything. While he was in New York fighting this war, his enemies hit him where it hurts the most. His ex-wife, Shira. She's been killed.
And worse, his daughter, Ella, has been kidnapped. The final scene of the entire season is just this gut-wrenching shot of Segev. He's just survived a war between the CIA and Mossad, but he's left with absolutely nothing, just screaming in pure agony. He's lost the one thing in the world that actually mattered to him.
And that, right there, is the final, cruelest twist in the story of Hit and Run. Because the show was suddenly canceled, audiences were left with one of the most frustrating cliffhangers ever. So who took Ella? Was it Mossad, the CIA, or maybe someone from Segev's own dark past coming back for revenge? We'll literally never know. And maybe that's the most haunting part of this whole twisted story, the not knowing.